Okay, so what I did was a course redesign of an existing program, which is called Culverhourse Lift. As you know, our business school is called Culverhourse School of Business Commerce. They keep changing their mind. But I'm an accounting and tax professor, and so that's what I do for a living, but my passion is community service. And so this is kind of what a student and I envisioned 5 years ago. And it was just started something small, and now I think this year we're going to have 500 volunteers and 60 classes a week. So it's just gotten huge. It's mainly 99.9% focused on business school students, only because that's just where I am. But the concept is to help anyone that's disadvantaged in the community. You're going to see all the different groups we work with, and I met with 6 community partners this morning. So the program is just going really well and makes me really happy. But I was trying to make it better. And so, when I kind of defend it, as in why I need 10 more computers, I kind of go, did you notice our mission statement says that right there? One of the points of our mission of the university is to do community outreach and to improve lives. So I'm always bringing that up, okay, as a defense. But last semester, it was over 400 students, and we're all over the place, but it's getting bigger. And we are now pretty much all over West Alabama, with the majority of what we do in Tuscaloosa. Basically, these are some of our primary groups that we serve. I kind of joke that we serve kindergartners to prisoners and kindergartners in prison. If they're there, we would work with them. So we've kind of expanded to do absolutely everything. But again, it's anyone that's disadvantaged that needs a little help, that wouldn't have the money to take a class in something. And our senior citizens part is just taking off right now. And these are kind of some of the classes we do. Basically what it is what do college students do well that they can help others with? Believe it or not, there's a lot. And number one, it starts with computers and smartphones. And they just help, again, prisoners that are about to get out after being in for 25 years, we're gonna throw them out and have them try to get a job, and they haven't touched a computer. The guys we work with do not know what the internet is. 25 years ago, we didn't use the internet. So who can help better with that? QuickBooks is an accounting and bookkeeping software. We provide free training for that. You can see some of the other things we do. And one thing, working with Woodrow of Archibald and Woodrow on the Northport, we're doing some GED classes and things like that. So a lot of good things. I'm hoping you'll give us some barbecue. But we also work with high schoolers. We work with elementary. We work with middle school. So it's kind of gotten all over the place. They do a really good job. Again, our focus, computer, financial literacy, and career development. Those are the things that we can help with, computers being a really big one, obviously. So it's integrated into classes as such. I teach the 3 lower level AC 210 honors classes, which is the Introduction to Accounting, which every business major or minor has to take. And we've expanded to 3 sections, so that'll be 330. So those are required volunteers. It's not like I even have to try. They're just there, and it's their lab. It's their service learning lab, and I'll talk a little bit more of that. You can take Lift as a class, and you can be a class leader and take it for a 3-hour class, which is a nice elective, pretty relaxed. But there's some other people that have asked me, I need a project component to my class. Can you just take these people and do it? And I'm like, yes, give them to me. So it's kind of all over the place. So I was kind of looking at, what were the goals of courses on. I was taking some of the materials we've referenced earlier, trying to read through them and learn some things from it. And so I kind of took this model of, what you had kind of given us, and I'll kind of show you what I came up with from that. So I kind of saw where my weaknesses were, and I realized that I needed to know a lot more about the actual learner and understand where they were coming from. And there were just parts of that process that I recognized where my weaknesses were when I went through the text. And so then I had been developing over the last couple of years, and now really have come to know these are our goals with this program, which are a lot. Obviously with QEP, problem solving is the biggest one always, but you can see all the other things. A big part of Lift is respecting and being compassionate to others that don't look like you. So we've got kids that have no idea that people live in poverty. There's a lot of students at the University of Alabama because we've gotten so expensive. We've gotten a lot of wealthy students, and they're just like, people have trouble with getting food. I had no, it just completely blows their concept. So those are kind of our goals. And I've just been trying again to use the curriculum and learn from it, because my weakness is documenting things and assessing it and providing results. I just want to go out there and be in the classroom and hang out with them. And so this was a perfect fit for me, because I have to be forced to think about it. You know, this is my biggest weakness, is documenting anything. So this has been really good for me, although painful. Now, so let me I'm just going to zip through these and kind of tell you what I'm going to change. Again, we really painstaking process with our Director of Experiential Learning, the business school, about each one of these. We spent tens of hours on these, trying to say, how does this specifically enhance their creativity? How does this specifically make them a critical thinker? So at the end, they know what's expected for them to get out of it. And they're always, like we all learned, they're surprised that you actually get these things out of it. They think they're just helping others. But the whole point was I needed to focus more on I was all about the helping others. I needed to really get this part together. I'll just kind of zip through some of these. A lot of times they have trouble explaining something. So again, oral communication when working with another person. This is always a big one. We have a lot of one-to-one situations in our classroom where, for example, in our GED classes, a college student is literally the best person in the world to help with the GED. I tried to help with GED, getting people to pass. I would not pass the GED tomorrow if I took it. And I don't think you guys would. The math, you're just like, what? You know, but the freshman in college was like, oh no, I know all about that. And I was just like, how do you know that? Or the games that they play on those tests, I don't remember how to do that, you know? So they're perfect at it. But again, the point is this one-to-one interaction, they have to, if it's not working well and the person isn't getting it, they have to think about different ways. So I'll see them breaking out a dry erase board. I'll see them bringing something the next time from the internet to explain it. I love that thinking process going on, and it's pushing them. It's just been amazing. Teamwork, because they got to work together. They got to have a class leader. They got a graduate assistant. They all got to come together on things. I see some other things. This is a really big one to me. I've always said why I started LIFT is I viewed UA becoming this palace on the top of a hill that had literally marble fourways. We had West End and Holt. People don't have food, massive unemployment, and we're like, I think we need another marble hallway. I was just like, God, I can't take it anymore. And there are kids. I went to school here 25 years ago. I didn't know West End existed. Hadn't stepped in it. I go there every day now. There's tons of kids do not know, have never been to Holt, and have never been to West End, have never seen poverty around here. Because all we see is marble, right? We see gorgeous stuff. So let me get to the point. This is what, again, this was the best thing for me, although it hurts. I don't like documenting, I don't like assessing, I'm getting better. I need to justify what I'm doing other than, this is an amazing program, I love it, everybo's having a great time. We all know this. The university's like, I'm gonna need a little more than you being happy, and a couple students' anecdotes, you know? So, and I'm just like, how do I do that? Do you want them to email you? So, you know, the person that was working with us, and Kevin shared a lot of things with me, learned a lot from this. So I am, in my syllabus, we're gonna have an official pre-reflection. We sort of did one, did nothing with it. You know how this goes. Really going to do a good effort to ask the right questions, do it in a timely manner, and I'm going to show you, I'm going to give them some reading ahead of time, which they're really going to enjoy. You know how they like that little extra. Pre-reflections, obviously the post-reflections, this is a QEP model, everyone does. I just did it poorly or not at all. So now, you know, what this has kind of held me accountable to is, you did do the QEP, you got to do this, you know how to do it, and you need to do it well. So it's part of my syllabus now. It's not just something I'm just kind of doing. I've really got to do a good job at it, and that's good. And you know, notice this bullet point here. This is the whole point of how I sell it to UA. How did this experience prepare you to be a business leader? I had no idea this is how I would defend this program to the university. The type of business leader we need now in today's society is a compassionate person that respects others, cares for others, and understands different people. 30 years ago, a person in business did well and didn't have to do that. The world is different, and most people care about how a business acts. We reflect things with our buying power, right? And where we go to work. The world's different. it's not even that it's good for you to be a good company. People will not buy from you now, right? Okay, and you get bad press and bad things happen, right? So to be, the philosophy, and this is what the reading's going to be on, is to be a good business leader, you better be able to know that guy you're paying $8.50 an hour, this is what that means. This is where he came from. I think that's a leader in business. And that's my main objective. I'm going to do these weekly incident slips. They're going to love this. I'm sure we'll do it online instead of a piece of paper. But, just what happened this week, just a little something, a little 5-10 minute, so I can keep, kind of scan through and see what's going on, see if I've got problems. And again, you forget your experience at the end of the semester. This will be all like, oh yeah, I really had a bad day that time. So, and finally, like I said, I'm going to give them articles about, this is kind of a new concept, we all know it now, but again, these are the characteristics of business leaders that we can't teach in a class. We're teaching accounting, marketing, economics, finance. We're not teaching empathy. And how would you teach that? In fact, our business ethics class can't teach ethics. It just teaches you to think about ethics. I think throwing you in Holt High School when you went to a perfect school and I went to Holt yesterday, they were on lockdown. That's an issue you need to know happens. There was violence. Probably never happened at maybe your Mountain Brook school, for example, right? Not to dog Mountain Brook, I'm just kidding. But that's a good thing for them. That school had a lockdown. When we were at Holt last time, good learning experience was the basketball player at Holt was shot, right? That was one of the guys we were working with. Good experience. Not good, but it was a good learning experience for them to understand they face violence that you might not have faced. You get it. And so we're going to do a focus group. I guess all 500, we'll figure that out. Okay. We're going to do small focus groups. We're going to take small groups. But, I never do this kind of stuff. I don't think. I'm a doer, not a thinker. And you can't not think, assess, and reevaluate. I'm terrible at it. So I'm getting better. And so let me kind of wrap this up. What I really learned about this was I realized the two things I cared more about than anything after going through this whole process were these two things. One, I want a meaningful experience for the community participant, whether it's a veteran, senior citizen, whatever. Okay, and I always wanted that. But what I now realized I wanted and had to do was a meaningful experience for the student. When I started this 5 years ago, I didn't think about that. I honestly didn't care. I didn't. I just wanted a vast pool of required volunteers. I was just kind of selfishly like, I want to have volunteers to do all the things I care about, and now I realized that wasn't sustainable, and I couldn't justify it that way, and also I had a duty to make it meaningful, and that's the part I'm really working on is, instead of just going, get out there, just do your stuff and be quiet, it's like, all right, what did go wrong? How can I help? Again, that's what I stink at. Okay, and so I'm going to have to be grading things, and that's going to be fun. I've got GAs and stuff that'll help me with that. It's hard to grade, we all know, written things. Trying to set a rubric up for that is real difficult. So I've got guidance on that. I'm really going to try hard. I'm sure I'll have to go through the learning process. Got to grade those pre-reflections, post-reflections. I think who had said they gave everybody 100, but they wanted to do that different? See, I'm afraid of that too. Everybody 100 makes it easy for us, yes. But so what you and I both have learned is we've got to set some kind of rubric. Otherwise, we're not getting the quality of what we want. So I'm learning from that too. I've got to give somebody an 80 or a 70, unless without just the shirt thing. Right? The shirt thing's definitely bad. Okay, and so I'll kind of round it up with these are my challenges. I've got a giant program. There's only one of me. This really isn't my job. Honestly, they let me do this. I don't get paid for it. I'm supposed to be teaching. So I love this, but that's one of my challenges. Did I already do that? Subjectivity of evaluating people, that's really hard. And with 60 classes a week, how am I going to evaluate you all consistently? If you're in a class teaching entrepreneurship to kindergartners and you're teaching the internet to a prisoner, how can I have a common question for the two of you? How to go with the prisoner? I mean, how did it go with the kindergartner? I don't know how you do that. You can hug the kindergartner, but don't hug the prisoner. Thank you.